And for more, we take you back out to Arrowhead, where we say hello to the lead analyst of the NFL on CBS. Tony Romo joins us now, also the observer of dynasties. Tony, you and I, we've talked plenty about this Chiefs team for the last half decade, but this version of them, this personnel grouping specifically, how did it allow Andy Reid and Matt Nagy to dial up the game plan today?
Well, I feel like this is a game that I've been waiting to see when everyone was healthy. They really have never been all on the field together from a skill position perspective. And so it was like, let's see if it really is a difference maker or if that's just something we've been thinking. Boy, was it a difference maker. I mean, they literally move guys around, and they have the ability to do a lot of different things right now. It's going to help the run game, going to help Kelce, it's going to help Rice. I mean, this is a complete football team, and who's playing probably the best football in the National Football League the last 2 weeks. 9 different pass catchers for Patrick Mahomes on this day, Tony. When we look at what he just went through 6 weeks, how valuable is that? The comfort in wherever he's going to go through his progressions, that he's thrown meaningful passes there and plays have been made by a lot of different guys on the Chiefs right now. Well, the biggest thing is you can get guys to do what they do best. So you dress it up, you move people around, and you make it look like it's exotic. But at the end of the day, you know this guy's really good at this. This guy's really good at this. And I think before they were kind of just putting the round peg, into the square hole kind of a thing, or whatever, square into a round. But that now they don't have to do that. They know this guy does this well, so you just go ahead and put him in that position. And I feel like you're seeing them really take off because now Mahomes trusts everybody, and his rhythm, I mean, it just shows. He's playing at a very high level right now. Gold star stuff for the Big Red Machine, but I also want to talk a little silver and black. When you look at this Raiders team preseason, Tony, we're talking about the distance between the top of the division and the bottom of the division being far closer than years past. We see the canyon that still exists on this scoreboard. What do you make of this Raiders effort through 7 weeks now? Yeah. Well, there's two things. I think the tape shows that there's subtle improvement here and there, but they're not near the standard of the top teams yet, and that's going to take time. They've got a lot of young guys who got to learn the system. Pete's got to really implement his whole, culture and just his vision and, their template of what they're going to do. And I think they'll get it right eventually. But right now, they don't have enough good players. And when a team like that has the injuries they have, you really can't compete against a team like the Chiefs, who are coming in at their best. And to me, that was the difference today. It was like, oh, let's get rid of all their good players on the Raiders and be like, go compete. Well, the Chiefs have their best players. That's not really possible.
A world between them right now. Tony Romo, appreciative of the call and your time always. We'll talk to you soon.
Thanks. Appreciate it.
Jim Nantz, Tony Romo, Tracy Wolfson continue to detail the world's dynasty. You wanted to put him to sleep? Well, they are alive and well. The Kansas City Chiefs rolling on with a decided, lopsided victory over their divisional foe, Las Vegas Raiders. Most wins by a coaching QB duo. Reid and Mahomes, the new standard. Back up on HQ postgame, where the Chiefs called off the Dogs after the third. The damage was done. Patrick Mahomes, over the last 2 weeks, that's 543, 6 touchdowns, no interceptions, with a full battery of targets. Mahomes and the machine operating on all go. Back in studio with the fellas as we assess some of what we saw. And on the Chiefs side, Mac, this is a team that, I don't want to say clicking on all cylinders, but we're seeing it move into motion with that full battery of personnel options at Patrick Mahomes' display here. What did you make of the way that he did distribute the ball to everybody at all times?
It's scary hours for opposing defenses when they play against Kansas City with Pat Mahomes having a full arsenal of high-level skill players surrounding him. Pat Mahomes was already cooking. The last few weeks, he's been playing some really inspired football. But now you add Rashee Rice back into the fold, highly motivated with what he already had going on with, you look at Hollywood Brown and the rest of the guys. I mean, at his disposal, it's almost like pick and choose what you want to do and how you want to do it. And that's what we saw. So now with the offense having the high-level pass catchers, the running game finally surfaced. When you look at Isaiah Pacheco, as a team, they rushed for over 150 yards on the ground. So now a sense of balance is there because of the quality pass catchers that Pat Mahomes has.
Logan, it's the pillars of winning football that we're seeing here from the Chiefs. But talk to me about what Coach Spags' group did to this Raiders offense that rendered them almost non-existent.
They pitched a shutout. They pitched the shutout. That is so hard to do in the NFL. In my 11-year career, I've had one shutout in 11 years. And that's because to not let the team even attempt or kick a field goal is really hard in the NFL. That is dominance, and that's what the Chiefs, that's the scary thing about the Chiefs is as well as they played offensively, they play that well defensively. It's like they have two head coaches on that staff with Spagnuolo and Andy Reid. And to allude to B-Mac real quick, the balance that they're establishing, when you get to the red area against the Chiefs, the exotics, the plays that they pull down, them being 4 of 5 in the red zone. I've been in Bill Belichick meetings. I've been in meetings with Dick LeBeau. I've been in all types of meetings with Hall of Fame defensive play callers. And it's a long meeting preparing for what the Chiefs can do with those weapons in the red zone.
You talked about the defensive dominance. The Raiders were 0-7 on third down. They had 95 yards of total offense for 4 quarters. And Geno, his average of completion was 4.2 yards per average throw. That's losing football. Not to mention for the entire ball game, they only had 3 first downs compared to 30 by Kansas City. So to Logan's point, Steve Spagnuolo, yes, he was going against a short-handed offense, but he made sure he didn't give them any glimmer of hope to really make them feel like they can make this thing competitive.
Well, very short-handed for the Raiders, right? We're already talking about a team that's probably bottom half of the NFL in terms of talent on the roster. That's the reason that they have a new head coach, a new general manager there, right? So when they're down Jacoby Myers, who is their only wide receiver, and he's inactive for the game. When they're down Brock Bowers, who was doubtful for this week, and then obviously inactive for that game. And then when Ashton Genty's really only had one game where he's been able to run because they haven't been able to figure out the offensive line, when Geno Smith always turns the football over, so he's not even taking chances down the field anymore. I don't know how you're going to be able to generate any sort of offense against Steve Spagnuolo's defense. That's also a name, Steve Spagnuolo. You know, he keeps winning Super Bowls as a defensive coordinator. Maybe we should start throwing his name in some head coaching candidate discussions at some point. That's for a later time. Meanwhile, on the other side of things, when Max Crosby leaves the game, who is their best player, and he left that game, it's going to be tough sledding for the Raiders. I also want to point out for the Chiefs, credit them as well. They're doing this without Josh Simmons, who is their week 1 left tackle, and Trey Smith didn't return to the game, only played 15 snaps and then left with injury. So they're playing, and Patrick Mahomes is playing at an MVP level with missing 2 of his offensive linemen.
Attrition touching all, but maybe the attrition this league will face will be named the Kansas City Chiefs once again, looking like they have eyes for the top of the AFC now above water. 4-3 on the season following this latest victory. This is the largest shutout by either team in the history of this head-to-head between the Chiefs and the Raiders. Also marks Andy Reid's first regular season shutout.
It was pure domination. No drama, no doubt. Just Kansas City Chiefs football at its absolute best. On a crisp Sunday afternoon at Arrowhead, the Chiefs didn't just beat the Las Vegas Raiders. They erased them, 31-0. A shutout so complete, so surgical, that it felt less like a football game and more like a message to the rest of the NFL. The Kansas City Chiefs are back, and they're not messing around anymore. From the opening kickoff, you could sense it, the rhythm, the confidence, the hunger. After weeks of inconsistency and early season frustration, Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid unleashed an offensive masterpiece that reminded everyone why this franchise has become the modern dynasty of football. 3 drives, 3 touchdowns, 92 yards, 84 yards, 94 yards, each one more methodical than the last. The Raiders couldn't stop it. They couldn't even slow it down. By the end of the first half, the numbers looked like something out of a video game. 275 yards of offense for Kansas City to just 51 for Las Vegas. 21 first downs to 2. It wasn't close. It wasn't competitive. It was domination in every possible sense. And at the center of it all, Patrick Mahomes playing one of his most efficient games of the year. 26 completions on 35 attempts, 286 yards, 3 touchdowns, and he didn't even play the full 3 quarters. Mahomes was calm, patient, deadly accurate. The creativity was back, the tempo was back, the magic was back. But this game wasn't just about Mahomes. It was about the return of Rashee Rice, and oh, what a return it was. After 6 long weeks away from the field, Rice stepped back into the lineup like he never left. 7 catches, 42 yards, and 2 touchdowns, both in the first half. He didn't just give the Chiefs a spark, he reignited the offense. His timing with Mahomes looked sharp, his routes crisp, his confidence unshaken. You could see it in the sideline celebration, teammates mobbing him after that first score, the crowd exploding with relief and excitement. The kingdom had its young star back, and the offense had its rhythm again. Then there was Hollywood Brown, the newest weapon in red and gold, catching his own touchdown to stretch the lead to 14-0. It was seamless, balanced, explosive. Isaiah Pacheco pounded away on the ground, running angry as always, and capped another dominant drive with a 1-yard plunge into the end zone. Every single facet of the offense clicked, from pass protection to play design to execution. And if the offense was perfect, the defense was downright terrifying. Steve Spagnuolo's unit didn't just shut down the Raiders, they smothered them. 95 total yards, 3 first downs. That's it. That's all Las Vegas managed in 4 quarters of football. The Kansas City front seven bullied the line of scrimmage all afternoon. Every snap, every tackle, every blitz felt like a statement, a reminder that this defense has quietly become one of the most complete in the NFL. They hit, they swarmed, they dictated. The Raiders had no answers. Geno Smith couldn't find a rhythm, completing just 10 of 16 passes for 67 yards before being pulled. Rookie back Ashton Jeanty was swallowed up, managing just 21 yards on 6 carries. Even when Las Vegas tried to change the tempo, the Chiefs' defense met them at every turn. And when backup quarterback Kenny Pickett came in, he fumbled on his first snap. The perfect symbol of a day where nothing, absolutely nothing, worked for the Raiders. Meanwhile, the Chiefs' offense kept rolling until the lead was so massive that Mahomes could sit down midway through the third quarter. Gardner Minshew took over and guided the ship the rest of the way. Harrison Butker added a 38-yard field goal, stretching the margin to 31-0, and at that point, Arrowhead was in celebration mode. The crowd was singing, the defense was smiling, and the Chiefs began kneeling with over 2 minutes left, the kind of flex only a dominant team earns. This wasn't just another win. This was Kansas City crossing the .500 mark for the first time this season, a psychological turning point after an uneven start. The narrative shifts here. The Chiefs are 4-3, back above water, and with Rashee Rice reintegrated, Hollywood Brown fully in rhythm, and Pacheco pounding the ball like a wrecking ball, the offense finally feels whole again. And make no mistake, holding an NFL team to 95 total yards isn't normal. It's rare. It's special. It's a warning. Since 2011, Kansas City hadn't pitched a regular season shutout against the Raiders until today. 14 wins in the last 16 meetings. Total domination of a division rival. The kind of win that reminds you why this team still sits on the throne. The Raiders came in hoping to exploit Kansas City's early struggles. Instead, they walked into a buzzsaw. Mahomes was in command, Rashee Rice was reborn, Pacheco was relentless, and the defense was merciless. This was a full-team victory, the kind that redefines a season. So tonight, as the lights dim over Arrowhead and the crowd drifts home, one truth echoes through the kingdom. The champs have found their fire again. The Kansas City Chiefs didn't just win, they announced their return. 31-0, a shutout, a statement. The message to the league is clear. The kingdom never fell, it was just reloading.